So yesterday, one thing I did forget to put in my other video about why I had to get another phone. I had that previous video for 2 years. Wait a minute, his little dog. But yeah, I had that phone for 2 years. It gave me a good 2 years, like my husband said. It gave me a good 2 years of service. Excuse me, y'all, it's cold out here. So I plan on getting going to get my oil changed today, so it don't have to continue to my car can at least hopefully stop running hot, because that's what it is. And I'm gonna go get that done today, and then that's gonna be it. Now on to the next situation. Yeah, I know it's wrong to say it like this, but I'm kind of getting to the point where being a housewife sounds good, because I mean, it's not just that, it's like the jobs that I do get, well, the one I do have, they don't pay very much. And when they do start paying enough, most jobs, period, don't pay enough for people to live off of. And then when you do find one that pays enough, they find a way, like my last job, seems to find a way to mess with it. They find a way to pay you even less. Like, they find a way to pay you even less to live off of while getting away with it. Like, how can you pay somebody even less, take out of, basically pay them less? You're already not paying them enough to live off of anyway, to take care of their daily needs, pay their bills, get food, the price of everything, basically the price of everything, including the cost of living, is going up, but the jobs are still paying even less. They find a way to pay even less. Like, what the hell? How the fuck you expect somebody to live off that? And then the whole time you're doing that, paying them less, while the cost of living going up, you get mad because they give you less of their time. They care less about their job, but you're not paying nobody very much or nothing to live off of. So why would somebody break their back and bend over backwards for a job who's paying them less? Not saying this job, I'm talking about the previous jobs I done had. They find a way to break your paychecks down even smaller, but expect for you to go above and beyond for them. I'm not going above and beyond for a job that is paying me less. I could barely get food to eat off of. I could barely get personal care items. I could barely keep gas in my car. I have to choose between eating and paying my bills. Or I got to have that job and work 3 more jobs or 2 more jobs just to be able to keep my head above water. Just to be able to keep my head above being homeless. Because again, you got to choose between paying your bills and not having no food. If you can still do that with the little amount they pay you, they'll start off paying you enough to live off of and to barely get by to eat off of. But they don't want nobody to get this. They don't want nobody to be. They keep talking about there's a lot of how much homeless people there is in the city, and how many people are living off government assistance. Well, hell, there wouldn't be, in my opinion, there wouldn't be that many people living off fucking government assistance if the jobs stopped, if the jobs paid more. And not even just if the jobs paid more, if you stop taking out of people's paychecks and lowering their paycheck and then still expecting them to live off that. How the hell you expect for somebody to live off? You barely paying them enough to get food with, because let's face it, the cost of food is going up too. Eggs are shot up like hell, and it's probably still going up. Hell, I don't even eat that much eggs as it is anyway. I don't even use that much. I get it when I need it, and then that's it. And I think, honestly, I'm gonna be honest with you, I thank God for food stamps, because I wouldn't be able to have any food if it wasn't for them. If it wasn't for any type of government assistance, there'll be way more homeless people than they are now. If it wasn't for housing, not saying that I'm on it though, but if it wasn't for housing, wouldn't nobody have nowhere to live. If it wasn't for food stamps, wouldn't nobody have no food. Because hell, half these jobs is not even paying. They already don't feel like they want to pay you anything, let alone they only doing it because they have to. Because government-wise, you have to pay somebody for the time that they give you. They coming into work or they clocking in or clocking out. You have to pay them something. And it has to be enough for them to live off of. Which that ain't. Then, when they do want to pay you, and then you do get a paycheck, it's barely enough to keep anything you like. I just can't get over the fact that you paying these people. That's why so many people have government assistance and so many people having to work multiple jobs because one job ain't enough. Hold on. That was one time when I was working at the nursing home or whatever. Back then, all them years ago, they wasn't even paying you enough just with the nursing home job. Like, damn, I had to have that job and a job that working from home. And that still, with those two jobs together, still didn't pay me enough to keep my head above water. There was times that I feel like there's no reason on earth that you should be working 1 to 2 jobs, working period. Despite however many jobs you got, that you should still have to borrow money to get food or borrow money to get you by until you get paid again. That you should have to borrow money to get gas in your car. That you should have to borrow money to cover a piece of your rent because the rent is so damn astronomically high. But the paychecks are getting low and getting lower. They find jobs nowadays are finding ways, like I was saying, that in the beginning, it's like jobs are finding ways to make the paychecks smaller and smaller and smaller, knowing that all the rent, the lights, and all the other bills, the cost of living altogether is keep going higher, keep getting higher and higher and higher. It's gonna keep getting to a point. I feel like it's gonna get to a point now, in a few years, maybe next year, to a point where ain't nobody gonna be able to afford anything. You're gonna have all these apartments, all these houses are gonna be empty, besides the people that's owning that owns their own home or whatever. Everybody else that's renting, all these apartments and rental houses are gonna be empty because can't nobody afford that. Nobody's job is paying them enough. Nobody's one job. We just gonna say one job, for example. You work one job. No one job enough is paying them enough to be able to have a place to live. Or if they do have a place to live, they ain't gonna be able to have no food because it's either have a roof over your head and suffer with not having food and have to borrow money for food or take on sporadic jobs for food to be able to get food, or you're able to get food but you gotta live out of your car or live under a bridge somewhere or just be homeless in a tent somewhere or go live in a shelter. How the hell would they keep making cuts to people's paychecks and lowering everything except for the things that need to be lowered to make sure people can have a place, but they want to complain about, there sure are a lot of homeless people. There's a study show that this, that, and the third. So the percent of homeless people this year compared to 2-3 years ago is astronomically high. Of course it is. The rent's steady going up. And the paychecks are steady getting lower. Like I said, they keep finding ways to cut people's payback, to cut back what they're paying people. But you still expect for people to to make a living out of what? We just gonna say throw out a random number. $100 paycheck? How the hell somebody gonna make a living when their check is only you get 2 paychecks? Let's just say you get 2. Each one of them paychecks is $100. A little over $200 when you put them two together. But your rent is $8-something. You're gonna forever have to have somebody that you stand with that understands you, or you're gonna be homeless. That's the brutal. It's brutal, but it is what it is. And the rent's steady getting high. And then when you are staying with somebody, that $200 is going straight to rent. You lucky if you have $20 at the max to get you something to eat with. And they wonder why people keep applying for all types of government assistance that they can get help from. We need help. Shit is hard. It's hard living in this time. It's hard, period, trying to be a working individual. That's why people get Social Security checks. That's why people apply for housing. That's why people apply for food stamps and any other kind of government assistance they can get. We call it SNAP benefits here where I live, but that's why people apply for stuff like that, because it's hard. Hell, you got people doing this, that, and the third. They're trying to survive off the paycheck that they do get, and you can't survive off that alone. You can't do that alone, because shit is so damn expensive. You're going to need 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 people in a household. And don't get me started on that. You're going to need all the people in the household just to help you be able to pay your bills. And then, going into that, you got all these places like apartment people talking about, there's a lot of people living in an apartment. You wonder why? Because the rent is so fucking high. One person alone can't pay that. 2 people barely can pay it, depending on their job. So, of course, they're going to get help from wherever they can get help from. And by help, if that means them having to have a family member or 2 come stay with them that can help pay the bills, then they're going to do that. Because you need a place to stay, and the rent is high, and you can't pay it on your own. You got somebody else or maybe 2 other family members that can help you, that's willing to help you. They just need a place to stay, but they got the money to pay the rent. Well, then why not? Why not? Because, and then too, with the whole putting them on, I understand the putting them on the lease, not having somebody staying with you that ain't on the lease, but if you go put them on the lease, then that's going to give the people in the office more time. That's going to give them the idea, oh, well, you got 3 more people living with you. Let's put you in another apartment to suit y'all, and then we're going to jack the rent up even more. Y'all really trying to make this, it's like people really trying, some type of authority is really trying to make it as hard as possible for people to be able to have a roof over their head, or to be able to just live, period. To live comfortably, period. Because damn, there's no way in the world, I'm sitting there thinking this today, like, they're just randomly thinking, there's no way in hell that you should have a place to live. You should have to go through all that just to have a place to live. Or you have to worry about job security. When you've been at your job for so long, you got to worry about if the pay is if they're going to cut your paycheck, or will you be able to keep your check, or if you're going to be able to eat this week, or you're going to be able to eat this month, or you're going to be able to have money to pay your rent this month, or you're going to have to ask for assistance, or you're going to have to go find somebody to help you, or you're going to have to find somewhere else to live because they're sending you through the fucking ringer. And yeah, I don't know. This is crazy. Man, it's just ridiculous how can you expect for somebody to make ends meet like that? Like, I don't understand how. Like, I don't personally understand. I don't know where this car coming from, or where it's going. Yeah, it's just ridiculous. Yeah, hold on.